Okay, hey, good afternoon. Yeah, I did a video earlier about warfare, and I was surprised how so many black people seem to frown upon the idea of black men and women having arms or arming ourselves. And I just find it sort of fascinating because there's absolutely nothing wrong. It's not against the law to exercise your Second Amendment right, and that's just sort of mind-boggling to me. I'm involved in the gun community, and oddly, I mean, I hear a lot of stuff. I mean, I'm on social media all the time, and I hear all of this white supremacy talk. I hear all this racism, and I'm not saying like those elements doesn't exist in our society, but interesting. Like I've been involved in the gun community somewhere between 3 to 5 years. The last 3 have been going pretty strong, but what I find is that the gun community is so unlike, I guess the rest of the world, and because you think like, if anybody had attitudes, I guess these kind of attitudes, you would think that maybe a lot of these guys would have arms, and you hear about these rednecks and these white militia groups and all this kind of stuff, and these people, I guess, by definition, would be involved in guns. And man, what I find, man, in my local gun range, I mean, a lot of these guys, man, they're Southerners, they pro-Confederate flag, they like all the Confederate generals, all that stuff, man. But man, they're the coolest people that you want to meet. Now, I wouldn't want to cross these guys. Let's not get that twisted and everything, man. But I guess like this, man. Like, I mean, if you know how bad you are, I mean, there's really no point in tripping. Some of the guys, man, like they got sniper backgrounds. A lot of them, they were, grew up hunting and stuff like that. So I mean, they can hit a dime at 1,000 yards. I mean, now you may not know. I mean, that might not seem like a lot, just the words I'm talking out, man. But I mean, just these words I'm talking. But if you once you map out and chart out how far 1,000 yards it is, and a person can hit a dime. I mean, that's something. 1,000 yards, 1,100 meters, and these guys can hit a freaking dime. I mean, that is amazing. That's almost impossible. But there's guys that are that good and everything. So I don't know. Like warfare and all this stuff. I don't really see that, quite frankly. And people say, well, man, what are we going to do if we go to war? Black folks say, man, we can't win if we go against white people and yada, 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 war. I don't know, man. I think, man, that you live your life, and that's basically all you can do. You need, somewhere along the line, you need to develop a core belief systems. I mean, you need to believe in something. And a lot of times what I find, well, I don't know a lot of times, but sometimes what I find is that some people just don't have a clue what they believe in, so they don't have a core belief system. So it just seems like almost a natural thing to do is just begin to attack white folks about what happened to our ancestors. Well, it wasn't right, it did happen, those are just the facts. Now, what you and I choose to do about it, those are the facts. And my thing is, like, I'm not going to sit around and spend my life bitter and pissed off at somebody I really don't know, but more so the idea of a system that was designed to benefit white folks. I mean, this is it, that's the American system. There's no doubt about it. But my job, and people like me job, is to find out, man, how do I function within this society and everything. So I'm not talking about buck dancing and shucking and jiving and all that kind of stuff, man. So I mean, you got to live. You got to live somewhere. You got to live somehow. So you need to make that determination. Quite frankly, my folks, they had a raw deal. My ancestors had a raw deal here in this country. That's a fact. But my attitude, like, if you're walking around with these attitudes and this anger and this hatred toward white people in general, and talk about white supremacy, held them down, and it did. My question is like, well, how's white supremacy holding you down? How is white supremacy stopping you? How is the white man, got his foot on your neck? And it's essentially like people can't answer those questions. and everything. So it's almost like, well, your whole argument is moot. Now, I'm all about, let me go ahead and say this, and I'm rambling and everything, but let me say this. I think that we should arm ourselves. I think that you should learn how to fight, and more important than that, I think that you need to be willing to fight if need be, in that order. So, I'm not against black folks having guns. I'm not against black folks learning how to respect guns and treat guns. Now if you get out here and you're doing stuff, wild and what have you, then chances are you're gonna be dealt with. That's just reality. And I think that I'm all about being consistent. Now, if somebody's wild style and being, that way toward us, taking a position of aggression to harm, maim, or kill us, then I think it's our God-given duty, to protect ourselves against such an enemy, a domestic enemy, quite frankly. And now I'm not talking about no illegal crap. I'm talking about well within the laws that are outlined. Somebody roll up on you and yours, you deal with them within the boundaries of the law. Quite frankly, I have no problem with that, and we keep it moving. So I don't know, man. People come up with all these different ideologies, and people know, well, what are we going to do as a group, and what are we going to do, what are we going to do, and all this kind of stuff. Man, look, don't waste your time, don't waste your life. Like I said, man, you need to develop some core belief systems. I think it'd be great if you start like maybe grassroots movements. Pretty much like when I was coming up in the 60s and 70s, people had all different kind of thoughts and beliefs, and they was moving in that direction and everything. So, I just think that's a good idea. But this idea, like we need to go to war against somebody's not really clear to us, but we want to go to war against this idea of white supremacy and world domination and all this kind of stuff. Somebody made the case about the law enforcement, like how they're seemingly executing us with impunity. And my response to that is I respond to somebody else. I think that if somebody kind of come at you like that way, then I think that you're well within your right to defend yourself. And even if that means that you got to go to jail for life, even if that means that you got to lay down your life or be executed, I just think that it's well within your right to defend yourself, you and your family. And so you can't worry about all this other stuff, quite frankly. So I think that's part of being a man, quite frankly. Not worried about like what's going to happen, what the police going to do. Somebody roll up on you and yours. It's your job. It's your duty. It's your responsibility to handle it. That's it. But this stuff about going around being bad, flashing guns and shooting your neighbor and all this kind of stuff, no, so you need to be dealt with. Now, because your mind's all fucked up. So that's it, man. If you want to live, if you want to live free, live free, but freedom ain't free. You hear people say that. A lot of these militia groups, they talk about it because they know what they're talking about. Quite frankly, but okay, let me cut it right there, man. I'm just sort of rambling, man. I need to get going. I need to get home, man. Hopefully before dark. So anyway, y'all take care. I'm out.